Hello and welcome to BrookesTV. I'm Adele Lashi.
And I'm Sinead Usher. First on the show tonight, we're looking at disputes regarding pay, which resulted in strikes from Oxford Brookes staff. Ben Davies reports.
These are the shots from outside the new John Henry Brookes building located on the main Oxford Brookes campus on Gypsy Lane. On first sight, everything about the complex looks successful. However, underneath the new shiny outlay of the new site, there is an underlying struggle from staff regarding the feeble 1% pay rise offer lecturers have received this year. This has resulted in strikes throughout the year, causing disruptions to senior staff and students. The dispute took a turn for the worse recently when the UCU planned 3 two-hour strikes on separate days, which led to the university reacting by confirming that if the UCU members did strike, they would be docked a full day's pay. I sat down with Brookes Registrar Paul Large to discuss why the university made such a threat.
First of all, it wasn't a threat. It is the university's policy that we do not accept partial performance. If you do not undertake some of your duties, then we withhold a day's pay for not actually fulfilling your duties.
Empty words there, as we spoke to a UCU member who wished to remain anonymous but has become a victim to the university's policy.
During the action, the response of Oxford Brookes to our legal right to strike has, in my view, been intimidatory and disproportionate. In late January and early February, we undertook 3 two-hour-long strikes. As a result, we have been deducted pay for 3 whole days, despite the fact that we worked for the rest of those days. This has resulted in the loss of an additional £300 of my salary and meant that I was effectively working for free for the university on these days. Most universities in the UK do not adopt such a position, and it is disappointing that this stance has been taken locally. UCU are now investigating a potential legal challenge to this decision.
With the UCU possibly looking at legal action, I went back to Paul Large to ask him how the university would like to see the dispute end.
I think what we would like to see is that the UCU and Unison actually stay any further industrial action, and particularly UCU do not move into a marking boycott, which would have potentially a detrimental impact on a number of students. Fortunately, there's only around 10% of the academic staff of the institution who have been taking part in industrial action so far.
Mr. Large mentioned that only 10% of academic staff had actually striked, which accumulates to around 150 staff members being docked a full day's pay. With each member averaging a loss of £300, it actually means Oxford Brookes made an estimated £45,000 from the strikes. I tried to contact Brookes to ask what they would plan to do with the saved money, but have yet to receive a reply. I feel it right to leave it to Unison Chair John Appleton to sum up the staff's feelings.
The employers keep saying there isn't the money to pay anymore. It's nonsense. There's well over £1 billion in reserves across the higher education sector. In Brookes, we spend hundreds of thousands on fripperies for this building, and what we can't do is actually pay a fair wage to our staff, who in my view are what actually makes the student experience. Glitzy buildings are nice. What students remember is the staff, the good staff who taught them, the good staff who provided support, who found them accommodation, who processed all their marks. All of those things are what makes the student experience, much more than buildings.
There is no doubt the new John Henry Brookes building is a success, but it could be said that it adds to lecturers and staff feeling undermined and extremely unappreciated. This is Ben Davies for BrookesTV.
The Oxfordshire Animal Sanctuary has been struggling to get enough donations in order to keep running. Amanda Miller went to the sanctuary to report on this.
Since 1967, the Oxfordshire Animal Sanctuary has provided a temporary home to hundreds of animals. The sanctuary cares for and sometimes rehabilitates animals that have arrived in terrible condition, and with its non-destruction and non-refusal policy, it has helped save countless animals. But the sanctuary is facing closure by the end of the year as a result of increasing veterinary costs, damage to structures as a result of recent bad weather, and lack of donations. They have recently started a massive fundraising campaign in order to meet their growing financial demands. We spoke with Phoebe Stewart-Cox to find out more.
And we've just launched an appeal to try and raise that awareness and raise the level to keep our running costs going. A number of ways people can fundraise for us, whether that's putting on events, taking part in sponsored runs, walks, that kind of thing.
even local businesses can get involved. We spoke to Jeff Helton from Karcher, whose company has donated powerful steam cleaners to help keep the animals' environment healthy and well maintained, about why his company got involved.
So we like to support local charities as much as we can, and something like the Oxfordshire Animal Sanctuary is a perfect example of where we can use our professional machines to best advantage. And I think it's really important for companies to get involved with charities and really help them out. And this place is supporting so many people in the Oxfordshire area that we have to also support them.
The sanctuary costs around £700,000 a year to operate, with approximately £126,000 going to veterinary bills, £73,000 to food and bedding, and £16,000 to waste disposal. They are attempting to raise £20,000 each month to be able to keep taking care of the animals. The manager of the sanctuary, Ian Watkins, spoke with us about how important it is to raise this money to keep the sanctuary in operation.
Some of our dogs are long-term residents. We are called a sanctuary for a reason. We're not just a rescue centre. If an animal has to stay here for the rest of its life, we take care of it, we feed it, we keep it as healthy as possible. And we're the only one in Oxfordshire that does that.
The sanctuary also encourages locals to come and volunteer to work with the animals, and we spoke with volunteers and staff about the benefits of this.
At the moment I can't have a dog, so it's nice to get out and at least enjoy it here if I can't have it at home.
It's great for people to come up. We have all sorts of ages. Everyone we can find a job to do that will help us and help all the animals here, and we would appreciate it.
The Oxfordshire Animal Sanctuary provides a wonderful service by animals cruelly treated by society. Without them, these animals would face a future without any home or euthanization. Let's hope that the community opens their hearts and wallets and helps these animals out. This is Amanda Miller reporting for BrookesTV News.
Finding employment after graduation is a growing concern amongst students. We sent our reporter, Jing Zhang, to the Oxford Brookes job fair to find out more.
Every year, college students are likely to face employment pressure in the near future. Last week, Oxford Brookes University hosted their largest career events in Berkeley building.
Atmosphere at the moment and the economic climate is been a bit difficult. I've been trying for about 6 months already because this is my last year.
Very anxious to what I'd like to do, so I've sort of come here today, have a look around, see what's available.
Over 13 organizations attended. One employer said will increase in employment rate in this year.
Well, I think obviously hopefully economic recovery is hopefully around the corner. Certainly many of the businesses in the Basingstoke area have been quite resilient in the downturn and seem to be gathering pace, and I think certainly a lot more interest in graduate recruitment than perhaps there was a couple of years ago.
There will be more opportunity for international graduates.
We look for international students just as much as domestic students. If we can speak second or third languages, they're a great help, especially with our international clientele.
After career events, we interviewed the Director of Career Service, Sue Hilton.
This year's graduate recruitment fair that took place this week with last year's graduate recruitment fair, I think there is quite a difference, and I think it is an indication of great improvements in the graduate recruitment market. We also have smaller events throughout the year, and it's been significant. The increase has been significant. Feedback regarding Brookes students is very, very positive. It's why they come back year after year. They really do value Brookes students. So I can tell you that I'm very confident we make a big difference. I can tell you that I feel Brookes students really do offer something very valuable to employers.
The career fair gives both the students and the employers an opportunity to make that connection. From BrookesTV, I'm Jin Zhang reporting.
We often hear human rights abuses occurring in places far away from us, such as Ukraine, Venezuela and Syria. Many local organizations and groups advocate for these issues among the Oxford community.
We sent Elke Teichmann to cover the Oxford Human Rights Festival to find out how students are helping to raise awareness.
The 12th annual Oxford Human Rights Festival took place between February 24th and 28th. Brookes students on the Development and Emergency Practice Master's course began planning the week in September. This was the first year the festival expanded from film to multiple art forms. Yet despite the increased variety of events, many were poorly attended. I spoke with student organizer Martin Dolan to get his perspective.
Well, some events have more attendance than others because, well, personally, I think it's sad to say, but some human rights issues are more sexy, more media friendly, and just people are more interested in some of them. That may be one reason. Another reason might be simple knowledge or recognition of some of the events. But we didn't want to be exclusively only showing big name pictures because that would really limit some of the issues that we were trying to address and raise awareness of.
The festival's website states that it hopes to raise awareness about a range of human rights concerns among students and the wider Oxford community. This is the first year that they have charged an entrance fee to certain events.
The idea for that is to try and create a more sustainable festival where each year any profits and gains will go into the following year, and hopefully this way we can build up each year and create a much bigger and better festival.
But does charging the public discourage people from attending?
Anytime that you charge for an event, you are, by the nature of it, excluding some people who can't afford to come to the events. However, I think you also add a level of legitimacy to the event.
What we paid tonight was absolutely fine.
For students, I think it's affordable.
Obviously, something being free, you'll probably get a larger number of people coming, but I mean, it really depends on how it's publicised.
Many of these people heard of the events through friends or the festival's website. However, marketing efforts were not as effective as they could have been due to limited resources. So how can the festival reach people who don't already know about important human rights issues?
If we got more organisations that are involved with human rights involved with the festival, there may be more buy-in from the public, if they could see where the proceeds were going to help some of these issues directly.
If the Oxford Human Rights Festival wishes to fulfill its goal of raising awareness, it must improve its outreach to those who are unaware of human rights violations. This is Elke Teichman reporting for BrookesTV News.
That's it for this half. After the break, we'll take a look at a human rights issue that is important not only on a global scale, but also on a national one. See you after the break. Welcome back. The issue of female genital mutilation has been making headlines a lot recently.
The student division of Oxford Lawyers Without Borders announced a collaboration with 28 Too Many, a charity working to eradicate FGM. Rebecca Cardone, student leader of one of the collaborations panel, told us more.
We have established a research panel of about 10 students, undergraduate and graduate at Oxford University, to focus on issues of the role of media in female genital mutilation, religion, culture, cultural taboos, and different traditions associated with it, and also, of course, the legal aspects. What policies are enforced both locally, nationally, internationally? How is it enforced, if at all? What are some of the complications coming up? And then also we're looking at some of the different non-governmental organizations and trying to identify some best practices and how FGM is really perceived in the communities to help better equip our the different international human rights organizations, and also really ultimately the women and girls who are trying to end FGM within the generation.
Mm-hmm. So what is the most common misconception people hold about this issue of FGM?
I think one of the most common misconceptions is about the role of religion in female genital mutilation. Many think that it's rooted in Islam or Christianity or some of the tribal, in some of the ethnic communities, and some are very deep-seated. But FGM actually predates religion, and so we are trying to identify these cultural rationales and taboos surrounding FGM to try to identify what exactly is the conversation, the discourse around FGM, and how can we mobilize other aspects, even of religion and of these different cultural traditions, to eradicate FGM.
Okay. In the UK, it's illegal, but The Guardian recently cited cases in which girls are still cut in private clinics. Mm-hmm. How does your organization balance Western notions of human rights with the respect of cultural tradition?
That's a really important question. That is one of the main conversations in universal human rights and addressing it with cultural particularity and relativity. And it is illegal in the UK. It's FGM is a human rights violation as defined by the World Health Organization. And so Oxford Lawyers Without Borders is working with a passionate call to end female genital mutilation. But as a panel, we are focusing on the research and the capacity building efforts for 28 Too Many and helping provide some of the information in the local context to understand it, because without understanding FGM as it's rooted in culture and the different components related to it, we won't be able to equip the women and girls who would like to end FGM. And so it really, our work is about building research to raise awareness and help magnify the voices of the girls who are undergoing FGM or who would like to stop it, more so than necessarily speaking for them.
Okay, last question. What do you think is the most valuable method to reduce FGM?
There is no one black and white policy that could eradicate it. It's very much a holistic process. The country profile reports for 28 Too Many are growing substantially in different sections that they address, because it pertains to healthcare, media, religion, laws, culture, just really every aspect of the community. So it's with education, mobilizing local leaders and local community organizers to speak out against FGM, to make it even a comfortable topic for the public to discuss. We need to break that silence to allow the girls who have undergone it to seek medical treatment and counseling, and to really just to raise awareness.
Thank you very much. That's all we have time for today. Thank you for answering our questions.
Thank you.
With the closure of Oxford's HMV store, Carl Riggs investigate what this means for the decline of high street entertainment media.
It survived bankruptcy in 2013 and even outlived the chain's flagship London store. But now Oxford's own HMV on Cornmarket Street is set to close by an unspecified date later this month after almost 30 years of service, unless its owners are able to downsize and relocate somewhere else within the city.
HMV's been here a long time. It's, you know, the last big record shop, so yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, I bought CDs and cassettes and all sorts from there, so yeah.
It is in terms of the history of it, and also the demise of the high street.
It's been around for so long, it's kind of going to leave a bit of a hole, isn't it?
The store is the latest physical media outlet in Oxford to shut its doors, following the likes of Zavvi, GameStation and Blockbusters. Much of the blame can be attributed to the ever-growing popularity of online streaming and shopping at competitive prices from popular websites including Netflix and Amazon, the latter of which earned a record $21 billion during the last Christmas shopping season.
If it's movies and music, then I probably do go to HMV. Yeah. If it's books, and still buy books and things off Amazon.
Yeah, sometimes downloading it feels necessary. Sometimes we are roaming in the market, we take it by just by paying cash or whatever.
Well, I think this is probably where we've got a different opinion. Yeah. I'm probably a bit less tech savvy, and you know,
future man.
Yeah, I need that support from someone in the shop to sell me that CD. Yeah.
All you need to do is get one of these big spikes, stick it straight into your brain. Yeah. You're happy. You're done.
But not all is lost for high street entertainment, with stores such as Game still providing a local alternative to digital downloads, while Waterstones, despite the increasing rise in ebook sales, continues to prove that print isn't dead just yet. But even with the store's hope of relocation, this latest news comes as a blow to Oxford's media community, giving audiophiles, film lovers and gamers one less venue to explore. This is Kyle Riggs, reporting for BrookesTV News.
The closing time of the bakehouse in Weekly Canteen changed recently. Neil Yusan went to find out why.
The bakehouse used to close at 4:30 on weekdays. It now closes at 6 o'clock. I asked manager Anthony Wright why.
For a couple of reasons. One, we felt that we wanted to try something new. The sales were slowing down at that time in Starbucks. It's also from an operational point of view for me that instead of having somebody kind of isolated over in the building, we can then move a member of staff over here to help with the team, help with the main service, and and try and offer something new at the same time by offering bakehouse with the pies and the pasties. So it's kind of, that was kind of the idea behind it.
Has the new closing time been a success?
We've looked at sales and they're fairly comparable. I haven't consciously advertised it, and I think because I didn't want to commit in case it didn't work, so I think now we've kind of given it a go and people coming in and we have that core of people who now expect it and it's working for the rest of the service. I think it's something we'll probably look at now advertising and moving forward for the rest of the term.
I asked customers what they thought.
It has some good points, like especially like once like in the evening when there is like, because we have like late classes and the other grab and go close early, so this one could be like as an alternative work and can help.
Yeah, for people that live here, it probably is. Yeah.
Definitely. I think in future, if we're using the library and things, I think it's really good that they extend the hours.
Are there any plans to extend the weekend hours?
We normally don't have much going on at the weekends. We are here for the students, so we are open from 8:30 till about 12 o'clock every Saturday anyway, and then on Sunday we're open from 8:30 till 1:30. Our cash sales from those 2 days are minimal, but if it ever came a point where we needed to and we looked at it and somebody wanted to raise the question, then we would obviously do the same. We would look at it, we review it and monitor it and then see what happens. But at the minute I don't see any need to do so.
The staff are friendly and the location is convenient. In amongst complaints about the facilities at Wheatley campus, the new closing times for the bakehouse are certainly welcome. This is Neil Hewson reporting for BrookesTV News. Thanks.
Last Saturday, the Oxford University women's rugby team played their 27th varsity match against Cambridge. Mandy Miller went along to see the match.
On the 8th of March, Oxford University Women's Rugby Club hosted the 27th annual varsity match, beating rivals from Cambridge University. Before the match, the two teams warmed up, undertaking a vigorous pre-match training session at Iffley Road, Oxford. After the match began, Oxford's number 12, Esther Gosling, scored at the 5th minute from a penalty, giving Oxford a 3-point lead. This was followed by a try and conversion scored by number 10, Jessie Jo Flowers, giving Oxford another 7 points. The enthusiastic crowd gave resounding applaud for Oxford's number 6, Elizabeth, as she left the field, unable to continue after suffering injury from a tackle.
For Oxford leaving the field, number 6, Elizabeth White. She's replaced wearing number 20 by Becky Bibb.
At the end of the first half, Oxford was leading by 10 points. During the second half, Cambridge players came out fighting. They scored 2 tries and 1 conversion in quick succession, bringing their score to 12, leaving Oxford trailing by 2 points. The match was drawing to a close when Oxford's number 7, Anne Tibby, scored a try and conversion, bringing the final score to 17-12, with Oxford winning the varsity trophy in their 27th match versus Cambridge. Although Oxford women's rugby team initially struggled to fill their squad, and they are relatively inexperienced as a team, their skills, dedication, and enthusiasm was evident for all to see, and we wish them all the best in the future matches.
Like, forget the history, it's a big match because we started the season with 8 players, and today we won both our matches. Like, that shouldn't be possible. Like, the odds were so far against us, and we did it because we worked so hard. Like, we earned that. We earned every bit of tonight's celebration.
It went fantastically. It was so tense. Even when I wasn't playing, I was on the sidelines. I was jumping up and down, going, oh, "This is so tense." But then playing, it felt really good. The whole structure was all there, and Cambridge played really well as well. And it was just a great game.
This is Mandy Miller reporting for BrookesTV News.
That's it for this week. Good night.
Good night.